Hi, welcome to another Power Blast podcast. If you are scrambling to put together your family's lunches and dinners each day, and you often find yourself eating out often or quick grabbing some takeout food or home delivery, then this episode is going to be golden for you. It's time to talk about healthy meal planning. Here's my best tips and tricks. Stay tuned. Hey there, my friend Perry Tinsley here, creator of the Power Blast podcast, The Power of Possibility, Passion, and Purpose. And you've probably heard this before. Failing to plan is planning to fail. And you need to set your intentions for the week ahead. People who plan, they achieve. And remember, meal planning is the menu you make when you before you even grocery shop. A lot of times people just wing it when they go grocery shopping. Most people, when they do meal planning, they plan for a week at a time, sitting down once a week, planning out the week's menu. There are some people, I will say, that out there that will do like a month in advance, and I applaud you guys. Maybe you're neatly labeling stews and soups and things that you can freeze and use for later. But whatever it is for you, I think the goal is to find something that's enjoyable and effective for you, because there's a lot of benefits to meal planning. And as you go along the way, you learn to evolve, and you find out what your groove is, and you find out what's most effective for not only you, but for, if you've got other mouths to feed in your house. So if you're really wanting to dial in your nutrition and to reach your health and fitness goals, then, you definitely, if you'd like to eat healthier, stress less, save money, give me a right on right now, right? While we're celebrating, let me take a moment to celebrate you. I want to give you a shout out and say thank you. Thanks so much for tuning in to this podcast, whether it's your first time or you're a regular visitor to this podcast. If you're listening on your podcast app, rock on. Thank you so much. Please be sure to drop in, leave an honest rating and review. That helps others discover this show. And if you're over on YouTube, then and see the video version of this show, please be sure to smash that subscribe button and the notifications bell so you get notified each time. And it would be absolutely fantastic if there was an episode that resonated with you and you drop some notes in the comments. That way I can reach out to you and communicate. I do go through those and reply. So thank you so much. So meal planning. Why meal plan? Well, if you have any fitness or weight loss goals, it really is going to start with what you're doing in the kitchen. It's going to start with planning. And I know it doesn't sound like the most sexy topic, but it is much easier to reach your goals if you have foods that are ready to go, and that pretty much will keep you out of, maybe not always, but a higher chance that it's going to keep you out of the fast food drive-through, okay? Especially when life takes you on those little crazy journeys and you just don't feel like making anything at home, right? So here's some amazing benefits of meal planning. It saves time because you sit down just once a week, take the time to meal plan, and you figure out what to cook each day. And if you're really taking some action, you'll pick one day to do some meal prepping. I'll talk about that in a second. It saves you money because meal planning, it's less trips to the grocery store. You go and dine out less frequently. It's healthier. When you meal plan, a lot of times you're putting in vegetables and lean proteins and grains, and you're skipping the processed stuff, and you're skipping the fast food line or whatever they're dealing out at the restaurants. You waste less because when you're planning, you effectively use what you already have and then shop for the things that you need. And it's less stress is what it is. It might seem like a little inconvenience to plan out, but there's no better feeling than going into a new week and into a new day knowing that your meals are already planned out, and it really takes the guesswork out. It's like, that's less stress, and you get to try out new recipes. That's really cool when you're creating a meal plan. I encourage you to try new things. I'm eating things now that I would have never guessed that I would ever have back in the day. But you just might find that there are things that are go-to dishes for yourself. So here's some of my favorite meal planning tips and tricks. One is to choose a time of week that you can do for planning. So if you shop, let's say on a Saturday, then do your plan on a Friday. And then, make all the menus for the week, what you're wanting to do. Can you vary this stuff up? Sure you can. You can become flexible, if something goes this way, but keep yourself, hear me out. Keep yourself a little structure. You plan on Friday, shop on Saturday, and then meal prep for a batch of meals and lunches on Sunday. And, go and take an inventory of what you've got in your pantry and what you've got in your refrigerator. That way, you aren't going and purchasing unnecessary items that end up going to waste. This helps you keep your grocery bill down. Because you're sticking to your plan based on what you already have at home. So that's really cool. And here's here's a good guide on what to do when it comes to meal planning. One is to schedule it. It's finding that convenient day, like I said, Friday, but just stick to a convenient day that works for you, and just make it routine. And then look ahead at what's coming up on your calendar. If it's a week, if you're planning out for a month, look at those things. Look at where are the busy days, where are you maybe taking family members to soccer practice or whatever it is. Are there days you're late at work? It's planning your meals accordingly and then selecting a good time that, I think that this is a good time to really go and, sometimes people will choose meals based on their mood, what they're feeling for the day. So I think doing that actually helps out with that, taking out that guesswork and taking out the distractions of what that could be. You're just like, hey, we're having this today. But if you're in the mood for something else, you've got the ability to pivot, maybe change days up as you go along. But it just takes the guesswork out. My other tip is to take inventory. Check your fridge, your freezer for foods that could potentially go bad soon, or you don't want anything in the freezer too long that's going to be freezer burn. So, and check for sales. If you're on a tight budget, it's helpful to go and find the ads in the paper, or a lot of stores have an app now that can tell you what's going to be on sale, and you can clip the coupon or however you want to word it, right there on your app. So that can save you money. And then whatever side dishes you're making, you can make things super simple. Steamed veggies, brown rice, quinoa, simple salad or fruit. You don't have to overcomplicate it and make things easy for you. And just then make a menu. Just pencil in what meals that you plan to have each day. And then, throw in a couple favorites and maybe one or two new ones, something that you want to be adventurous and try. Here's a few bonus tips for you. Keeping a meal or recipe journal will help you out in future days. You may be able to go back in future months and repeat a week that, it's gosh, that was really fantastic. Hillary and I have been doing that for a while now. It's like all of a sudden we're into these vegan enchiladas that we kind of stumble upon, and we're always making our cauliflower pizza crusts, and there's like, okay, when's pizza night? When's Mexican night? So it's asking your family or your partner what they like to eat, sticking to your favorites, throwing a few extra ones in there, creating theme nights. Meatless Mondays, Taco Tuesdays, stuff like that. And just be consistent with your menu making and a consistent shopping day, and just checking those stores for their coupons that way. So, and another thing, when you're planning, here's a really good time saver for you. When you're planning your meals, let's say you're dialing in around dinner, think about leftovers of what you can have for lunches. So then you're kind of conquering a couple of different meals with just one meal prep, and maybe choose one day of the week, like Sundays. That's when I used to do it, to meal prep for convenience. Batch meal prep an entire. I would always do my whole week's worth of lunches so that I wasn't scrambling in the morning. I just went to the freezer or the refrigerator, grabbed things out, put it in my little cooler, and boom, I went. you know? So here's some healthy rules to live by. These are fast and simple, but I know that they'll help you out. It's eating 5 to 6 small meals a day. Or sometimes people are just like, hey, I just want to do the 3 large meals. Whatever works best for you, but stick to it and be consistent about it. Eating every few hours, 2 to 3 hours, or whatever works for your body, combining the lean proteins and the complex carbs and the healthy fats together to help you make you feel more full. Drinking half your weight in water, in ounces of water. That's half your weight in ounces of water. So if you weigh, let's say 180, you're drinking 90 ounces of water a day. But I would say that's a minimum. If you're on this podcast, you're probably not doing minimums. You're probably an overachiever. So you want to overachieve on your water. Never miss meals. A lot of times people skip breakfast, and I'm like, really? But anyway, don't miss meals. Carry a cooler loaded with clean eating things that you can have when you're at work, or having good healthy options that are in your desk, so you're not going to the lounge or down to the lunchroom to hit the vending machine. And speaking of that, avoiding over-processed refined foods, especially white flour, sugar. Avoiding the trans fats and the fried foods and the sugary sodas and juices and stuff like that. You want to make sure you're doing those things, and avoiding those foods that really don't contain any nutritional value at all. I know there's a lot of great tasting things out there, but they don't really do anything for you other than make your taste buds happy a little bit, and then you crash with energy a little bit later. So, and stick to portion sizes. Good portion sizes, and give up the supersizing. You're going to be golden there. So don't be afraid to reach out to me, Perry at putyourselffirst.com, with any questions. It might be about food. It might be about fitness. It might be just about, formulating the best way to reach your health goals. And if you're looking for a great way to put these tips into action and combine it with exercise, then go over to my virtual Bootcamp and let's get you into shape. You can head over to putyourselffirst.com/bootcamp. Get all the details there. That's all I have for this week. I thank you so much for tuning in. I appreciate you so much. And please, like I said before, share, subscribe, leave an honest rating and review in your podcast app to help others discover this show. And the universe, I think, will send you out some positive vibes. And if you're over on YouTube, catching that video version of this show, please be sure to subscribe, smash that notifications bell so that you get an alert each time a new show drops. You absolutely rock, my friend. That's all I have for this week. And as always, remember, it's never too late. We'll see you next week.